Hey, everybody, it is Lorelia coming to you today with the topic, as you can see, business funding and asset based lending. So, if you are new to me, I am not new to the conversation of credit. Personal and business credit is primarily what I talk about. If you're watching it from YouTube or from Facebook, I'm streaming to a few platforms, but primarily I help real estate investors leverage six funding or more in funding to do deals. And the reason why I say the sweet spot is six figures or more in funding, because pretty much now we're in a time and place where everyone, hey, how you doing, Mike Mitchell? Everyone has a business credit hustle. And so understand, I primarily help people do something bigger and much more long term than just getting business credit and business funding. I mean, you could pretty much put in a Google search if that is what you're looking for. If that's what you're looking for, business credit, business funding. You can find plenty of people who can help you do that, or you could do it yourself. There's tons of information online. But what I find is, and that's why I said it's a sweet spot, is that most people can't help you strategically get over six figures. And the reason why I say six figures is because understand you're leveraging it with real to invest in real estate. So don't mean to be um a the Pied Piper of bad news, but you getting $15,000 in a credit card is not going to do much to in real estate. Make it pay for some closing costs, but that's about it. Um, $20,000 ain't it's not going to do much. Like, I get it, that can be a very big that could be a very big goal for some people because they may have never had a credit card more than $3,000 or $1,000. So just getting something that's 20,000, they feel like they're doing something. But understand, what I help people, primarily real estate investors, do is something much bigger. And that is why I titled this video Asset Based Lending along with Business Funding. So let's break that down some. So asset based lending is different from the traditional lending when it comes to real estate that most people are familiar with. FHA loan, a VA loan, a USDA loan, a conventional loan. Asset based investing is primarily for real estate investors because I get it. There's people out there that who do things illegal. But for those who are doing things legally, you are capped with how many properties you can acquire when it comes to FHA and VA loans or what have you. Especially because if you're an investor, you're not going to get the advantages of an FHA loan, the 3% down, because you have to live in it. So, how can you be an investor on multiple homes? You can't live in all of them. So that's where that gray area comes in with people doing things illegal. Because I know somebody always say, well, so and so that I know and this person is doing it. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things. The thing is that it's illegal. So understand what I'm talking about is legal. Going back to what I was saying about asset based lending allows an investor, for example, you, to be able to acquire real estate that doesn't allow you to do W 2s. You don't have to, it's not really credit score influence. Many lenders will allow you to not use bank statements and will not allow you to use tax returns. Why? Because the decision making on them being able to loan to you, the consumer, the business owner, the real estate investor, is based on the asset. And so, primarily, those that I help are looking to acquire multifamily properties. Now, here in the Northeast, multifamily properties are anything three families, three family home or more. Can you do two families? Yes. but 3 families or more. And I understand in different parts of the country, multifamilies can mean a lot of things. But with that being said, the lender is looking at the asset as a whole. Because remember, asset based lending is secured, business funding is unsecured. What I help people to do is to bring those two worlds together. That's why I said most people who are helping people get business credit and business funding, which is unsecured, meaning not secured by business, not secured by real estate, they're able to help them get 20, 15, or what have you. They're not getting 6 figures. They're just not. But imagine you leveraging 6 figures or more in funding and leveraging that to get into an asset based real estate acquisition. What does that look like? Now, going back to asset base, many lenders are different, but that's a whole nother video. I can just do a video just on understanding the requirements to be able to be part of I guess how I should say, just to be part of the number to get lenders to lend to you. That's a whole separate video, but I'm going to touch on that here. Asset-based lending is it's primarily backed by either private equity firms, hedge funds, or private individuals who, of course, collectively came together as a business owner. It is not backed by big banks. So what that means is that the rules of the engagement for different companies, for different lenders that do, most people know it as, I hear a lot of people say bank statement loans, investor loans. Some may even say non-qualified loans. Many of those loans are not backed by big banks. There may be some, but a large pool of them aren't. So what that means is the lending requirements are going to be different. It's not like FHA. FHA is the same in Wisconsin as it is in Florida, as it is in Georgia, as it is in Texas. Because why? It's government. It's a government backed financing. Same way with VA. Same way with 203K loans. Same way with USDA. Government requirement. You can go right now on FHA.gov. It will tell you the requirements to be able to get a mortgage using FHA. Asset-based loans aren't like that because every lender is different. So it's not cut and dry. So that is why you can talk to someone who says, "Hey, I do asset-based lending, based on the asset or the property that you're looking at." And they will tell you these are the requirements to be able to get funding from that lender. It does not mean that if you go to a lender that I may have a relationship with, or who John may have a relationship with, or who Joyce may have a relationship with, is going to be the same. And that's where the gray area comes in. And so that's why I tell people that is strategic. What I help people do is a strategic thing to be able to leverage unsecured money, business funding, 6 figures or more, and now bring it over to asset-based lending. Because the fact that the lender is looking at the asset as a whole, they're not looking at DTI. That is very common. When you talk to a lot of mortgage people in the primary home space, they're looking at DTI. DTI is heavy. DTI is not heavy in asset-based lending. Lenders aren't looking at debt to income ratio. They're looking at the debt service coverage ratio of the asset. Totally different ball game. So that's why an investor can leverage funding. And even though it may impact their personal credit, they're still able to get into an investor type loan because the asset is the one. Now, this is another thing where asset based lending and business funding is a great combination. With asset-based lending, people love, ooh, no tax returns. Good. No bank statements. Great. Not too big on, a credit score, not credit score heavy, but favorable, meaning that you at least want to be at 675, 680, no crazy stuff. But each lender is different. They're willing to hear your story, want to know the reason behind your credit. But even with that, people are saying, well, Maria, it sounds too good to be true. There's no way there's lenders doing that. It sounds too familiar to 2008. No, this is the part that knocks people out the game. Many lenders will only lend up to 80% loan to value. So what does that mean? You're looking at and I'm doing easy numbers because I'm doing a video. $100,000 property looks good. Lender likes it. They did their due diligence. They're only going to lend up to 80%. You, on the other hand, have to come up with the other 20. This is what knocks people out the game. They don't have it. And I'm doing easy numbers. I'm going to do numbers here in my market. So on the low side, and I got my calculator, that's why I'm looking down. We're doing $500,000, $550,000. That's in my market. 80% of that is 440. That's what the lender is going to lend on. You, my friend, have to come up with 110,000. That's right. You, my friend, have to come up with 100,000. So when people say, "Oh, it sounds too good to be true," no bank statements, no tax returns, not credit score heavy, DTI don't matter, DSCR does matter, debt service coverage ratio based on the asset. This is what's going to knock people out. You, my friend, got to come up with $110,000 because you got to come up with that other 80%. I mean, that other 20%. Lenders only lending on 80. Now, there are some lenders that I work with will lend up to 85. That still means you got to bring up 15%. And that's what knocks people out that knocks them out the box. So that's why it's so important of understanding strategy. Strategy. Because these moves can't be made with me telling people I can help you get a 30,000 Navy Federal credit card or 35,000. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing wrong with that. By all means, that's a very big accomplishment for some people. Because I've always said personal credit is your wealth building launching pad. But when you want to do bigger moves, make bigger plays, it comes with strategy. Strategy. And understand investors that I work with, they are looking for strategy. Because gone are the days, whether it's a recession or not, there are going to be people who are going to play defense. And what is defense? They're going to contract. Oh, let me gather my eggs. Let me save. How can I save this money to outpace inflation? Can't do it. Won't happen. Good luck. It hasn't happened since the beginning of time in the turn of the 20th century. And if you follow historical economic cycles, it has never happened. So playing defense is not going to help you. But there are people who are playing offense, even with interest rates rising. The only thing that can outpace inflation is your ability to own assets. Real estate is just one vehicle. So I'm not here to convince you that it is the vehicle, but understand that strategy to put yourself in position that if the bottom falls out, which is what everybody is hoping on, that you're in position to do some things. And you're not going to do it by playing defense. Most people are trying to do big wins or trying to do a big play playing defense. For example, I always tell people, if you are the person who already got some business credit going, maybe even got good credit, and now you think I supposed to convince you how what I do is going to help you. I'm not your person. I'm not your person. I work with people, real estate investors who know funding is not, that's not their thing. That's not what they do. They may be either good at doing what it is that they are doing, finding deals, investing in deals, but leave the funding to someone else for strategy, as well as people who are new to real estate, but realize that it's strategy that allows people to make bigger plays. That's why I always highlight those who I have worked with, clients that I've helped buy two properties, leveraging business credit and business funding. In certain markets, you can do that. In certain markets, getting access to $130,000, you can do some big things. I have another client who's down in the South who has purchased multiple more mobile homes. But that's with the understanding that that person that I worked with knew that funding was not their thing. Their thing was finding deals. So understand, are you going to play defense, meaning you're going to contract? You're going to figure out how much money you're going to save in order for you to outbeat inflation that is going on now? Or are you going to be the person who's going to play offense? Meaning, what do I need to have in place? What are the things that I need to know? What are the chess pieces I need to have in place in order for me to win big? And that, my friend, I challenge anyone. I have yet to see it. Don't get me wrong. There's people helping people get net 30s, gas cards, PPP scams, what have you. But I've yet to see where people are literally legally, without you lying and falsifying your name, helping people get six figures in funding and being able to leverage it for real estate. So that's, my friend, is just a just a surface conversation of how you bring those two worlds together, because deals like that do exist. There are asset-based lenders who do lend primarily on the asset. No bank statements, no tax returns, DTI is not an issue, DSCR is, and personal credit don't play a very large part. But what does play a part is your ability to come up with the down payment. And that, my friend, is where people get lost at, because they don't know how to make those plays. They don't know how to leverage people's money. So, I mean, I get it. Most people have read a lot of real estate books, been to a lot of real estate, workshops, and they know the OPM, other people's money, but don't know how that play is done in real life. And that is what I help people do. So, if that, is something that you're interested in, you want to have a conversation, unfortunately, like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, not looking to be. I get it. For some people, I always tell people, hey, I may not be the person for you. But if this sounds like something that you may be interested in, that you want to have a conversation about, links will be below this video. And let's have a talk. And, my goal is to have more conversations on this, because we are entering a time where there are going to be some big opportunities. And I was just telling the client the other day, because she was asking my thoughts. And I told her the last recession we had was 2008, when the housing boom happened. I told her that is when my real estate business took off, because I found out a way to be able to capitalize off of what was going on in the market. So whereas other people said, hey, I took a hit, I lost my business or whatever, my business actually took off. I finally found my footing, and it took off. And I showed her checks or whatever, because I still keep it as a reminder. I showed her my first check that I got from real estate, being able to do that. So once again, this is Lorelia. Look forward to talking in the next video.